there's just never a good time to film. There's never a good place to film. The lighting sucks everywhere. I'm always tired. So, like, I just was in the mood. So we're in the car, we're stopped, and we're gonna talk for a second. So what I want to do is I'm about to start reading the book Children of Time by Tchaikovsky, and I thought that that would be a good one for like a little reading vlog. So I'm gonna do a reading vlog over Children of Time. As of right now, since I haven't even started, I'm not 100% sure how spoilery it's gonna be. So I'll put like a little message on the screen letting you know. Because my goal is to make it kind of like the way I did my vlog for like The Shining. I feel like it's not the most spoilery thing out there, but some people might think it's spoilery. I don't know. People have different definitions of what's a spoiler versus what isn't a spoiler. So I am going to be kind of commenting on the book as I go. So if you want to know absolutely nothing, you've not read it before, then like probably don't watch it. But if you're fine with me just kind of like giving me my general kind of thoughts and opinions as I go without like giving away major stuff, then this is probably what's perfect for you. So I've never read Tchaikovsky before. I've heard that he's written a lot of stuff. I don't really know much of anything that he's written other than Children of Time. All I know about this book series, well, this is book one. I know that it has to do with, I think, first contact with aliens. I believe that the human race is like looking at a new planet. But, like, I think that other, like, aliens are there or something like that. That's the impression that I'm under. I'm under the impression that there's also, like, big spiders, which might be very interesting for my arachnophobia. But, I'm not usually as triggered if I read it in, like, a fantasy or a science fiction setting. And usually I see spiders in fantasy, so in the past it hasn't bothered me that much. Versus if I see, like, an actual, like, picture of a spider, like, in real life, not fantasy, ugh, I can't. They freak me out. I know they didn't really do anything to me. Well, that's kind of a lie, because when I was a kid, I used to play in this like dirt pile thing in the yard. I don't know why we had a dirt pile, but we had a dirt pile, and I most definitely got bitten by spiders because I was probably like encroaching on their territory without knowing. So like I understand that spiders are not evil. It's just a me problem, but I don't think it's gonna be an issue with this book. But yeah, I'm gonna give you guys my general thoughts. It's a biggie. She's like 600 pages. It's been a minute since I've read like a nice thick book. I've read a lot of tiny ones this year, so I think I'm really gonna like it. It'll be a nice journey. Come with me on my journey. Okay. Alright, so I read the first chapter of Children of Time today, and I read it at work. So my students, some of my classes, they do this like independent reading project situation all year, and they get to read whatever they want. It's lit. And one thing that helps as a teacher, you get a lot more buy-in with stuff like that if you're reading too. So I got a little bit done today. Interesting, but I don't know if I'm vibing with the writing style yet, you know? So definitely the main character that we're looking at right now is pretty insufferable on purpose, obviously. Like I can tell that like she's not supposed to be super like likable, and I guess that's probably influencing the writing to some extent, but I don't think that that's it. I think for me, my biggest thing is I'm having a hard time visualizing anything that's happening, or like not really what's happening, but the setting. I don't know, I'm struggling to visualize the setting quite a bit. And at first I'm like, am I too dumb for this book? But then, I don't know. I don't think that that's true though. I don't know. I've read complex things, and I've read complex science fiction. I've read the 3 Body Problem books. So like, I don't think that that's true. So I think that, I don't know, there's something about this writing style. I'm not sure about it yet. It looks like the next chapter is narrated by somebody else, so maybe that will kind of affect the level of description that we get as well. I don't know, but we'll see. I'm gonna keep trying. So now that I'm in part 2, lot of the issues that I was having pretty much gone. This is really cool story. I love jumping around to the different perspectives, trying to piece together what the heck is happening. So I'm starting to kind of see how some things might be starting to merge. But yeah, I'm really not 100% sure where this is gonna go. This is really good. Okay, so I'm in part 3 now, which is called War, and things are definitely getting crazy with the spiders, because this whole time, within each big part, obviously you have several chapters, and it tends to alternate between what the humans are doing and what the spiders are doing, and I'm finally starting to see the connection between, like, where they all are within the universe right now. I wasn't really able to predict that, so that was awesome. I will say this is a really unique story. I really do enjoy it so far. I get what I was thinking though initially about how I sometimes struggle with Tchaikovsky's descriptions, or like there's certain things that I want to be described more to see it more clearly in my head. I'm a very visual person. I really like it when characters are described in a little bit more detail, but like he doesn't really do that. I actually feel like I have a better understanding of the kind of the spiders and their environment compared to the humans. So there's that. But both storylines are super intriguing, and I think I'm actually at this point even more interested in the humans. I thought that it was just going to be the spiders that really saved this for me, but I am interested in what's going on with the humans. So the crazy lady that I read about in like part 1, who was like not super likable, I'm kind of shocked that she's still in this story, not gonna lie. Things have definitely gotten worse for this character, and like if I thought that she was nuts before, it is kind of nothing compared to now, so that's exciting. But yeah, I'm kind of excited. I'm excited to see where this is gonna go. Now that I'm kind of seeing how things are connected, I'm able to predict probably a little bit better than I could before. I will say also, writing can be info dumpy, like the science, which here's the thing with that. I always have mixed feelings, because on the one hand, I'm okay with that. Like, it's cool science. You know, these are really cool ideas, so I'm very interested in hearing about them. However, it can infuriate me just a little bit, because I feel like oftentimes authors are told, like, you know, you can't have info dumps, you need to do this, this, that, and the other thing, but I feel like a lot of these really popular male science fiction writers do all of those things and nobody cares. But like I said, I also don't mind. It's just, that's a society thing, I think. That's a cultural problem that I have, but it's not Tchaikovsky's fault. He's just doing his thing. I appreciate how he's handling the whole spider lineage, because you're seeing more than one generation, but like, so your main spider's name is Portia, and like, you learn about her at the beginning, but then after a while you're seeing like Portia's children, and they're all just, her descendants are just called Portia. And that makes it so much easier, because like they're spiders, and as a human being I'm not gonna be able to differentiate that well. There were some moments where I felt like my arachnophobia was gonna get the best of me with this story, and I wasn't really gonna be able to push forward, but ultimately the spider characters are so compelling and that storyline is so interesting that it's early to tell. I'm hoping that this book might have the potential to kind of repair my relationship with spiders. Probably too soon, but we'll find out. At least I'm able to get through it, because there was a couple moments where I'm like, ugh, I don't know if I can do this, but it's been good. I do think that the science is super well thought out. It's a smart book. Tchaikovsky's a smart dude. I'll give him that. It's a 600-page book. I'm on page 142 right now. kind of slow paced, but you know, you're trying to figure out how all this is gonna go together, and you're trying to figure out, like, there's like so much time that gets covered in this book, that alone, and just kind of wanting to know like what things are going on in the universe within that time, that in itself is so motivating to keep going. So, it's taken me a minute to get through because, you know, it's holidays, I'm busy, and all that stuff. Last weekend, I was really hoping I would have a lot of time to read because I had to get some blood work done, and it was like a 2-hour panel. It's like the 2-hour insulin resistance thing. Anyway, and I was told to bring a book because it lasts 2 hours, but then it didn't happen because the hospital's like, we don't do that one on weekends. So I made sure that I could read anyway, at home, since I had extra time and was at home early. And I flew through part 3, War, pretty quickly, and I think I flew through I'm making pretty good progress into part 4. I'm like 20 pages in. I like this book. I will say it kind of goes back to my initial observations. I think that Tchaikovsky cares more about his spiders than his humans. And I think that he's writing about them in a way that makes me care more about the spiders than the humans, but the problem is I don't feel any connection to the humans, like, at all. And, you know, just I'm comparing it a lot in my head to the 3-Body Problem because it's the most recent hard science fiction that I've read. 3-Body Problem is very idea-driven, it is very high-tech and science-y, like a lot of hard science fiction, and it's not perfect in a lot of ways, but the one character that you get a lot of backstory on and that you really feel for is like the one person that you need. It's our one person that has sent a signal out to, you know, the world and responds to aliens. Like, I feel like most of the characters in that series are pretty lackluster, but she's pretty strong, and she's the one that needs to be stronger. And so, it worked. And then another thing about the 3-Body Problem is, like, the world is described in so much detail, and it feels so real, and it feels so beautiful. And I don't know, I just feel like Adrian Tchaikovsky, to me, he has so many great ideas, but to me, he's just not a passionate writer at all. Like, I feel like the way that he writes about his human characters especially is very distant. And I feel like the way that he's writing about, you know, the places that they're going, and even the setting on, you know, this, like, I guess for lack of a better, this arc, that's what they call it, the ship. It's not written in a lot of detail. I don't really feel super connected to it. It's not written in a way that's particularly intriguing. I mean, it's still intriguing because the ideas are so strong, but I don't know. It's just, it's like I said, there's just not a lot of passion in it. I'm not falling in love with it the way that I feel like I could for such an amazing idea. Okay, so I've been reading when I can. I'm not gonna lie, like, once I've kind of figured out what my big issue with this book is, that it's like, there's just not enough of intra or interpersonal reflection or background for that matter. Once I've noticed it, I kind of can't stop noticing it. And I feel like for some people it's not going to matter because some things are just idea driven. And, you know, like the three body problem is idea driven and I love it a lot. It depends if you as a person are kind of spiritually connected, for lack of better terms, to the content, to the idea. And I don't know if I spiritually feel super connected to this piece of literature. I thought about DNFing it like shortly after, halfway for that reason, but I am powering through. I'm in the last like 25%. And the plot's going places. Like, we're finally getting somewhere. That's kind of another thing. So, books with Emily Fox. So, Emily Fox, she likes this book, and even she kind of described it as a lot of words that don't mean anything. I kind of feel that sometimes. But we are kind of getting places with the plot. Things are starting to come together. Holston is starting to have feelings. So, that's nice. I mean, for a moment, I thought that Tchaikovsky was, like, not gonna give him any feelings, because there was a moment where he was, like, about to like cry because he's seeing all these people on the ship that are just doomed, and you know, he's just sad for them. But then like they talk about this for like half a paragraph and move on, and so I thought, oh, I guess that's the most reflection I'm gonna get out of Adrian Tchaikovsky. But no, finally he's getting mad at people and he's getting like frustrated, and I feel it. Holston, the situation's frustrating, but like Ivarna, how the frick do you say her name? I don't even remember. Let's look. But Guyan and Crazy Lady, Avrana, Kern, whatever. She and Guyan, I think, are the two most compelling characters of the whole thing. And I know nothing about them. Like, I would love to know why they are the way that they are. Guyan is the type of person, his goal is to kind of, well, he's good at accomplishing long-term goals. Avrana, I guess she has some kind of mother complex in a way. I don't know. And I think, though, to be fair, I think that when you have the spider narrations, or the spider chapters, I should say, it shows how these spiders evolve over time, what they get from their ancestors. And so, like, Bianca, like, each Bianca, you can kind of, she's very different every, like, you know, every, like, offspring. Every offspring is different. It's just, you can definitely see how she was related to her previous ancestresses. Same thing with Portia, same thing with Fabian. And so I almost wonder if we're just supposed to assume that that's why the human characters are the way that they are. Like, we just have to imagine, like, previous Holstons, or previous Lanes, or previous Guyans, and, you know, trust that nature caused them to be this way, just with evolution. The thing is, though, it's a very cold, it's a rather unfeeling way of exploring character, and I'm not even sure if that's what he's intending me to get out of this. I don't even know if this makes sense. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like the evolution of spiders, evolution of mankind. We're not explicitly giving reasons why the human characters are the way that they are, but we can assume that they had evolved from their specific ancestors to have these traits. Whatever. Oh my god. I am surprised. I kind of flipped to the back to read more about Adrian Tchaikovsky. I am surprised that this is his first science fiction novel because I think that the science part is amazing. And I saw that it's, you know, kind of a personal project for him. So it's not like he doesn't have any feeling toward this book. Like, I could tell that, like, apparently he was very passionate about it. It's just, it's hard for me to be passionate about it. Like, it's good. It's objectively very good. I don't know. I'm not connecting with it. I need more about, you know, our human characters. I'm hoping that the way that this ends is going to really stun me the way that it apparently has other people. I will tell you right now, I don't think I'm going to continue with this series. From what it sounds like, book 2 is basically the same type of pattern as book 1, so if I'm not really seeing a whole lot of a purpose behind book 1. Well, not purpose. I see the purpose. If I'm not really connecting with book 1, I highly doubt I'll connect with book 2. So I probably won't finish the series. But yeah, a lot of mixed feelings on this. Even though it is objectively good, it's not quite hitting it for me. But yeah, anyway, I really need to finish this as soon as possible because I requested a very popular book on Libby. I got to finish this book. I'm gonna start that one. I'm gonna do that blog, and I've got like, I think I only have 11 more days until my loan is up on Libby, so I need to do this. I need to move it. Also, I don't wanna spoil too much, but I'll just say this. The way that Kern reacts to the planet being full of spiders is very, very different from what I expected. I thought it was gonna be kind of comical. Like, her just going, I mean, I can't say what I thought, but like, it's just not what it was. It was, I don't know, I kind of like her now. Who would have thought? Going from crazy woman to being the person I might stand the most. So this is apparently a mostly no makeup vlog because I can't be bothered in the moments that I actually have time to film to do that. But I finished Children of Time, and I must say that ending was actually really, really good. I feel like the last 100 pages, there was suspense. Like, I could feel things for the characters, even the humans, but especially those spiders. So some of the issues I've kind of had throughout have been resolved. I feel like the whole thing it definitely leads to that last 100 pages. I kind of wonder if he always kind of had it planned that that's, you know, how it was going to end. So, I mean, on the one hand, it did take me kind of a long time. It took me kind of a long time to get through this. I mean, it's a longer book. It's dense sci-fi. I didn't always have time, but I didn't always feel super compelled to keep going. Even though, you know, science is really good, I needed more connection, and I feel like I finally had that. I feel like our characters' arcs ended on kind of an emotional level, and just the way that the spider-human conflict is resolved. I'm not going to spoil it, obviously, but it's perfect. I feel like the end of this novel ended up really pointing out what's wrong with human beings, which is obviously a pretty deep route to take it, but I feel like it tackles what's wrong with us and why these freaking spiders were actually quite superior in the end. I really loved it in the end. Definitely a bit of a journey though. Then the $1,000,000 question, did it cure my arachnophobia? No. It did not, because, and someone on Goodreads also mentioned this in like some of the top reviews, that like it's almost hard to remember that they're spiders. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you almost start to envision them as people, like as humans, because they're so human-like in some ways. In general, science fiction and fantasy spiders don't freak me out. Even though they're like big and scary, they're just so like not real. But real life spiders, absolutely. And it was the first couple of spider chapters in this book that freaked me out the most. Even though like these spiders are like, they're battling against humans a little bit at the end. Like, none of that crap scared me. It was just spiders being very spidery. Like, at the beginning, that's the stuff that bugged me. So, yeah. I think it's safe to say that the arachnophobia is not gone. I've thought about this more. I've always thought that my arachnophobia came from, I used to play in this like dirt pile that was in the yard when I was a kid. Don't ask. I don't know why I was there. And I know that I had some spider bites, but now that I really think about it, it's not because of that. It's because I saw freaking Black Widow when I was 4, which Black Widows aren't really like around here often. but there's a factory that's close by that's like in food production, and sometimes black widows are known to hitch a ride on some of those trucks and will kind of scurry off and they're nearby, and that's why one of the local hospitals has like the antigen for it. I saw one when I was like 4, and my parents showed it to me, and they were like, I mean, obviously not close enough that it could touch me. I think my dad like killed it. Sorry if that offends anybody. But like, my dad was very much like, hey, if you ever see like this mark on this, like on a spider, you have to get away from it because it's super poisonous. That's where my arachnophobia comes from. Because like, it's bad. Like, there's sometimes where I look at a spider and like I get dizzy. Like, it's not good. I think that's what it is. So arachnophobia is not gone. Children of Time could not undo that. I still don't know I don't think I'm going to finish the series, like I said before, because it sounds like it's going to be a lot of the same type of pattern, like plot pattern as before. And I just don't want to have to wait like 500, 600 pages to like be fulfilled, you know? So, not sure if Adrian Tchaikovsky's writing is always for me. I think that, like I said, the ending, there was a lot of really nice passages where I could really like, I could feel it, and I could feel that he was feeling it. But other than that, I don't know if I'm going to read anything else by him again. I don't know. But I'm happy that I read Children of Time, finally. But yeah. Thanks for being on this journey with me.